you got to help me here. You started to help me. You didn't even know you did help me. I took a shot at the Olympic Committee, and you pointed out a couple of things that I didn't mention. It just looked to me like a simple decision, but there's more to it than that.
Well, I do think it was a simple decision in a way because the athletes in different sports and also in different countries, starting with Canada and Australia, were making it very clear that they couldn't see a way they'd be able to compete and perform in a July Olympics when their competition schedule leading up to the Olympics has been just thrown into such turmoil.
And when you think about Simone Biles and people like that, you just assume they can turn it on and turn it off, but that's not the case.
No, and the big question for some of these sports now is that some of them have held their Olympic trials, Les, and so you've had people qualify for the 2020 Olympics. Do you have to hold a new Olympic trials before 2021? Do you just grandfather the people in who made their Olympic teams? The other question is that somebody like Simone Biles was holding out to compete in this. Does she want to do it for another year? She's accomplished pretty much everything there is to accomplish in her sport. So she may not even be interested in staying competitive for another year. I've done 6 Olympic Games. I've been very lucky to do it. And each time the network that was airing the games 6 months out would try to get U.S. media people who covered the Olympics to fly to that city where the games were going to be held, not only for a venue tour, but to also do interviews with some of the American and international athletes who are going to be competing. So we know that 6 months out, these guys have, they're in their the most strenuous part of their pre-Olympic training, and here we are 3 or 4 months out, and they haven't been able to get to gyms. They haven't been able to work out in groups as they might for team sports, and it became pretty aware that this was not going to work this summer. And I think the IOC was just waiting in deference for the Japanese Olympic Committee to come to the same conclusion, because they know how much money this has cost Tokyo to put these games on.
Yeah, I took the easy way out. It's pretty easy to take a shot when it's so obvious what the outcome is going to be. But you pointed out some things that I hadn't given consideration. I just assumed it would be taken care of. The statement on the 2020 Olympics from Dick Pound, the International Olympic Committee member, on the basis of the information the IOC has postponed. The postponement has been decided. The parameters going forward have not been determined, but the games are not going to start on July 24th. That much I know. So they have some choices. Start them, whenever. Hopefully this gets solved fairly soon, and you can name a date. And number 2, you can name a date way out in the future and have it work toward that.
Yeah, I think what they were probably trying to decide between was whether it was feasible to do this later in the year. And temperature-wise, you could probably get away. I think the average temperature in Tokyo in, say, late October, November is still a high of 62, but it's a low of 48. And are you gonna hold Olympic-style spring events in that kind of weather? Now, the other thing is that nobody knows how long this is going to last. So to postpone it only 3 or 4 months, I think they were probably getting some input from the epidemiologists in the world, telling them that they couldn't guarantee that there was going to be a safe competition even at that point. So I suspect that what they're going to do is pick these dates similar next year. It was supposed to start in late July this year and run through the first 10 days or whatever of August. And I think that they'll probably end up delaying it by almost a full calendar year.